I have been working on my mindset and my thoughts for the past 7 years. If there's something that I've realized throughout all of this time is that there are a few habits that are extremely powerful but also extremely underrated. So if you're also someone who's been working on their mindset and their thoughts, or you just want to have a calmer mind, I hope this video is going to inspire you to start working on at least one of these habits. So let's get straight into it. Habit number 1 is writing. I used to journal a lot in the past when I was younger, but ever since becoming an adult, I actually started struggling because I didn't really find enough time to journal, or I didn't really find things to talk about. And so somewhere along the way, I stopped. But honestly, in the past couple of years, I've realized how whenever I was going through a difficult situation, I somehow restarted writing spontaneously. And for the first time, actually in a while, in the last couple of months, I've realized that it wasn't a random thing. Writing is probably the best way that we can process our thoughts. I think sometimes when we see it as journaling, it might become difficult because it feels as if it's a chore, so it's something that you have to be doing every day. Surely there are benefits to journaling every day, but I think it's even beneficial if you just do it once in a while. Mainly because writing allows us to process our thoughts in a way that just thinking about them doesn't. And I think the beautiful thing about this, and something that definitely helped me be more open to writing, was thinking that I don't need to have a structure. I don't need to write something that is structured. I don't need to write something that necessarily makes sense for someone else to read. If I just start writing about something that I'm going through or something that I'm thinking about, I'm just gonna start writing the flow of my thoughts, and automatically as I write, I start seeing the patterns. I start seeing maybe the gaps or the things that I'm thinking about in the wrong way, or I start seeing a different perspective, or I start realizing things that I had never seen before. And I think that's the power of writing, and I don't think there's anything else that comes close to it. That's why just thinking about your thoughts or trying to analyze things in your head is not the same. So especially if you're someone who struggles with overthinking, I strongly encourage you to start writing. It doesn't need to be every day. It can be every couple of days or once a week, whenever you find the time. But just take some time sometimes to sit down and write. Just write your thoughts, and I think then our mind finds a way to lead us. And the beautiful thing about writing is that once you stop, you not only feel like your thoughts are more in order, your mind also feels emptier, in the sense that you're not carrying all of those tangled thoughts anymore. Habit number 2 is working out. I know this is a difficult one for many people, especially people who maybe don't like exercising, or for people who think they're too busy. But this one also, I think, has enormous benefits on keeping a calmer mind. I grew up in Italy where the beauty standards are pretty high, and so I kind of growing up internalized this idea that I always had to work out in order to look good. And so it was something that I always enjoyed. I always enjoyed exercising and working out, but I always had this kind of connotation in my head that, oh, I need to do it so that I stay fit. Till something changed actually this winter. For a couple of months, I was spending most days by myself with my 2 toddlers. And honestly, by the time I got to the end of the day, I was mentally exhausted. And the only thing that actually helped me to reset my brain and give me new energy was exercising and working out. And so that's when it kind of shifted for me, when I understood that working out isn't important just, to look good, to be fit, or for your health. It's also important for your mind, because it literally helps free your mind from negative thoughts. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel more confident. It literally gives you new energy and a new drive. And it's quite crazy because most times you don't even need to do much. You don't need to be doing like an hour long workout or go to the gym and lift weights for 2 hours. Obviously, we all probably have our different ways that we enjoy working out. For me, at the time, I didn't really have the availability to go to the gym because I was home, so I was working out with my toddlers. So I had 10-15 minutes maybe that I could do it, but it still helped because most of the times we just need our body to start moving. So yeah, even if you're someone that doesn't love working out, I do think this is one definitely worth trying. Just start with something small, and I think you're gonna see the benefits of this. Another pretty big habit change that I think helps a lot with having a calmer mind is reading, especially reading instead of scrolling. And this is probably not that underrated. I know there's a lot of people that talk about this, but it's probably something that we know about, but we don't really implement in our lives. I'm actually guilty of this too. I definitely need to find more time to read. And it is difficult because many times you are kind of caught on into so many other things in your daily life that it's difficult to find the time to just sit down and read. But I do think it helps a lot our mind, because differently from scrolling or watching TV, the process our brain makes to take in information when reading is completely different from when we're just watching TV or scrolling. And I feel like even the knowledge that we get from reading somehow stays in our brain longer, and also it's a slower paced activity. And so I think all of these things make reading a habit that definitely helps us keep a calmer mind. Obviously then it also depends on what you read, like anything, but this is definitely a habit to incorporate to have a calmer mind. The fourth habit is prayer. Personally, for a very long time, prayer has been that small moment during the day where I managed to rebalance myself, my thoughts, my emotion, realign them with God. And it just makes everything easier, I think, throughout the day. It helps reset my mind, refocus on the right priorities, and just realign myself with God. So yeah, I do think prayer is quite beneficial to have a calmer mind, especially because it helps us take ourselves out of our circumstances and see the bigger picture. Remind ourselves that whatever we're going through, we have someone to rely on, we have someone that we can trust in. And that, I think that goes a long way into just having a more peaceful life. So yeah, I hope at least one of these habits inspired you to start incorporating them into your daily life, your daily routine. If you're currently doing none of them, it's probably going to be difficult to incorporate all of them at the same time. But if you start with one by one, I think you're definitely going to start seeing the benefits. And let me know in the comments if there's any habit that you have incorporated in your routine that has helped you to have a calmer mind. And yeah, thank you again so much for watching and for tuning in today. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.